Heroic skins, while you may not know what they are exactly, are pretty much the standard for every update in Tower Heroes. Every update always brings them. You may ask, what's a heroic skin? And what I consider a heroic skin is, heroic skins are skins that change the hero entirely, usually to a different character, and are pretty much always paired with render and name changes. There's another set of quote-unquote heroic skins, and are usually just a hero turning into an enemy, and a good reference is most of Karkid's skins. I bring it up as they usually have the same name change, character change, but they usually don't come with renders, and are not that rare usually. They're all kinda muddled, as some skins have placement renders, others don't, same with name changes and the heroic rarity itself. There isn't really a line between intentional heroic skins and a normal skin, which I unintentionally bring up the first issue with them. Our first heroic skin is Platinum, but we don't talk about it. Our first heroic skin is Booker. This skin was the first of its kind. It changed the name and all the renders, and as a bonus, you could put it on both Haze and the new B Tower. In the same update, Nico was revamped to have the same renders and name, with a small change that put it in the worst mimic in the entire game. We also got Rain from the Christmas event. Rain, alongside giving new renders and everything, also gave a new kill effect. Alongside new players not really knowing what a Booker Tower is, which wasn't really an issue because it was just 3 skins and people didn't really mind. People got confused seeing Rain freeze enemies and thought the skin gave a buff, which they had to quickly debunk. DJ Matsune Hiku was more of just a Spectre skin, not really much of note. Halloween 2021 gave us the Trick or Treat Game Pass, which is suspiciously similar to recent TDS controversies, and it gave us the most common form of heroic skin. It was the most buggy skin for some reason, and it has nothing to do with it being heroic or anything. It was just the buggiest skin for some reason. Additionally, the Make a Cake update 4 years later made skins like Gun Wizard and the Event Hero Game Pass skins be considered heroic. Skins would largely remain the same. Another skin worthy of note is the Wandering Ghoul skin. During the first day of the update, nobody knew what tower the skin was for. It was for Bebo with zero indication, which I feel like is some decent foreshadowing. The Abandoned Alleyway update gave us the Marble Crate. The legendary skins in the crate would have probably been mythic tier if they were released before, but that's just a side effect of getting better and better at designing skins, with one exception. But the mythic skins have the same effort as heroic skins, like Synth has its own icon, Super Boxy Hills has its own renders and name, and Chip is an entirely different character. All of these skins have the same qualities as heroic skins. Again, some of this is a result of having experience and putting more and more effort into skins, but why do the extra effort and add renders and change the names for basic skins, especially when they were previously used for very high rank skins? After the Marble Crate, we started getting more and more skins with custom names and renders, but we wouldn't see much of it until Easter 2023 update. Well, the Easter 2023 skins would be delayed until the Doors event, which would kinda be the tipping point. If I were to single out a specific skin, it'd be the Eyes skin. It's a Fault skin first and foremost, but for some inexplicable reason, it's also for Sparks. 2 entirely different towers. It doesn't help that all of the towers, Sparks is the most common to be placed on wave 1. Did I pull that out of my arse? Yes I did, but it doesn't detract from my point. A low level is able to place a Scientist clone masquerading as a solid early game and crowd control option. Other skins aren't really that problematic. Screech is a weird skin because you already made a Fracture skin in the same update, and it really should have been for another tower instead, like Haze. Even looking at the animation, it's literally the same as when crows attack. It was also the biggest update the game got, so pretty much everyone will see the Seek skin and say it's a Branch skin. The Doors update also included the promised Easter skins. Mini Laser, which I've already talked about in this video, but to recap, it's the new default skin for Scientist, and was used as a basis for future Scientist skins, but the main problem was I was locked behind an event which is beyond the scope of this video. Necromancer follows the same proportions as Wizard, but I've seen cases where people think you get it from Adventure. The Mimic skin for Yasuke and Lemonade Cat is a bit problematic, but you can guess which it is from the placement context. But you're kind of out of luck if you don't know what tower the skin is for, or the knowledge that it's for 2 towers. Doom and Streamer aren't that problematic besides render and name change, but there's another skin called Streamer, so yeah. Halloween 2023 and Christmas 2023 only gave us one skin. Family Business changes a lot about Lure, and it was the first skin to have multiple names per level. Chomps, Alvin, Deeds, Marcelin, Alistair. It's kinda jank, sometimes if you upgrade it, it won't update the name and such. Carol is alright since it follows the same general proportions as Quinn. Besides max level looking ugly, there isn't really any problems with the skin. But then we will go on to our most problematic skins yet. Easter 2024 gave us our most interesting skins yet. Disaster Hotel are probably the least problematic skins. Noob Wizard should have really been a bunny skin, like come on. It was added during the Easter event and it just has a different name, just that's about it. The Bebo skin follows like the same idea as Bebo, so not really an issue. The Cart Kid skin is just a slop skin. The Burrow Brawl skins are very problematic. Bunny Pop is named Bunny, and are very, very similar. It's just stupid how it uses the same name as another hero. Fox's is just meh, it has the same style as Keith, but you need to look at it twice as it changes the name. Did I say the Burrow Brawl skins are problematic? The event Easter skins are something else entirely. Shroom level 1 through 3 uses the same attack animation as Max Maitake, which leads to a bit of confusion. I've already talked about Tutoro in the other video, but it has entirely new renders and a name change, but Stella is already a bit of a unique tower, so it should be obvious as a Stella skin. But it doesn't really excuse it though. Chisel is a bunny skin with a new name and renders. The name change, however, caused a bug where we'd unable to receive his own buff, but to be fair, it was an upgrade because the ability is, and always has been, a downgrade. There was no documentation on it, but I'd imagine the same thing happened with Bunny Pop. Pet Rock is the same deal as Seedling, so not much complaining besides the obvious. Chef Yasuke, as if a skin having the same name as the tower was bad enough. This nostalgia baiting skin is for Yasuke and looks identical to Chef, and it literally has Chef as its name. Like, dude. They very quickly changed the name back to Yasuke, but still, why? It's so stupid. They also made an announcement saying which skins are for what, which kinda says a lot. When the skin dropped, I thought it'd be like Concept Chef, where I'd use the knife but have the same slow fire rate. Make a Cake isn't that problematic. The Chef skin for Voka uses Chef's name, which is really questionable, but that's the extent of it. The Oddport skin is stuff we have seen before and is just the standard Oddport skin again. What Make a Cake update did was change the skin menu to show what tower a skin is for. The only bad part is that it only shows if you own the skin, and it doesn't really say anything in-game, which is my main complaint. It fixed stuff like Wandering Ghoul though. Volcano Valley Revamp gave us Flamecaster, which is the skin of all time. Fire Goblin is actually a really nice skin and a break from the constant remodels. Skeleton King was literally meant to be Fracture's redesign, and then they decide to release a weekly that makes Fracture an entirely different tower. Instead of actually working on him, he's the worst tower in the game right now. He's basically just Fracture's mini laser. Halloween 2024 gave us the Chuck, Steiner, and Squiggles. Squiggles just a name change in renders, but why is he obtained before you get Lure? Chuck is exactly like Family Business, but for Yasuke. A different name and render change for each level. Not really much of note. But the skin is so loud. Mangled Mana skins are actually pretty good. Deadroot Branch and Zombie Soda Pop are based on the actual heroes, rather than entirely different characters, and they're the best skins for their respective heroes. Inferno is similar to Necromancer, I guess. I don't know what it's about as I've never really used it, but it was originally an adventure mode enemy. But yeah, I guess it could have turned into a radioactive Inferno at later levels to mimic Dumpster Child. It's also an event skin, when it could have very easily been something from Volcano or the Contracts, because I don't really remember seeing anything related to this guy in Mangled Mana. For Christmas 2021, I have no clue on what the skins are, because they haven't opened the skins yet, but chances are they'll be insane. Icons are semi-common, and for people like me, it'd be hard to clarify what towers you are bringing for a tutorial. Not that problematic, but it's kinda something that should have either been done for every skin or none of the skins, not just one rare skin. Renders are kinda problematic on their own, but the same idea as icons. I'm just rambling at this point for stuff I don't really want. Names paired with all of the above really sell the problematic package. If it has a different name in renders, it's probably a different tower, in which it isn't, and that's kinda problematic. Of course, stuff like Booker would be considered problematic, but the fact there was only one rare skin and the novelty, it wasn't really noticed. Rain is mainly problematic for its kill effect, which they had to specifically clarify doesn't slow down enemies, and it's kind of its own problem. Ever since Door's update, they added more and more heroic skins that are getting more and more common, and the novelty really wore off, especially with very egregious stuff like Ai's skin for both Vault and Sparks, Chef Yasuke skin, and the Bunny Pop Soda skin. And Flamecaster is a skin. It's very easy to get confused if you see a skin that has a different name, especially if you're a newer player and don't have any knowledge that heroic skins did that. And the recent skins like Fire Goblino, Zombie Rat, and Darkwood Branch are probably the best skins we ever got. Mainly because we got a break from all the skins that completely changed the character and all the unnecessary additions. I think a very simple fix would just add a setting that disables special renders and name tags, and have it on by default for newer players. Just remove the Ice skin from Sparks or make it different. There's no reason for it to be on Sparks besides catering for new players. Remove the name from Bunny Pop as it's just really unnecessary. And of course, we should only add heroic skins for very rare occasions and not something like hard mode reward on every other map. It's kind of just a bad design anyways for renders and name changes, but meh. Shout out to that one person who made a headcanon that Yasuke uses the Chef skin in order to trick others that he is Chef. Thanks for proving my point. This conclusion is kinda short, but it's mainly just me nitpicking, but I do think this is a genuine problem. I've talked about more serious issues, and this one is not that important. I've also just wanted to work on this video for a long time, but I couldn't really write a proper script, entirely due to how hard it is to describe a heroic skin, because everything's so scattered. If you've watched this long, feel free to like and subscribe. It's free, and tells me you want more stuff like this. Bye bye.